The fourth type of chromosomal theory that was proposed in order to understand the sex determination is environmental effect on sex determination. This theory was first proposed by a scientist named Baltzar in the year 1935. According to this theory, environment plays a major role in the animals that helps in identifying their sex. In order to study its environmental effects, Baltzar took animal named Bonellia as an experimental base. Bonellia is a marine animal which has a special characteristic, that is, all the zygotes that are present within the organism are genetically identical. Now, as they are genetically identical, both male and female can develop, but which will develop it determines or is determined on the basis of the physical environment in which such a fertilization process occurs. This figure depicts the structure of the marine animal, that is Bonellia. Now, whether the individual would develop into male or female depends on proboscis, because proboscis is a structure that secretes a hormone that inhibits the development of femaleness, or we can say that prevents the development of femaleness. Now, on this basis we can say that if an individual gets born near the proboscis or undergoes fertilization near the proboscis, then the individual would form into male, while if it develops away from the proboscis, then the individual would develop into female. Thus, in Bonellia, male would be formed if fertilization takes place towards or near proboscis. And if the fertilization takes place away from the proboscis, then the female would develop. In this manner, in case of marine animal, that is Bonellia, environment plays a very important role for determining the sex or development of an individual, which will be either male or female. Such a type of environmental effect also plays a very important role in other animals like tortoise, where the environmental effect plays a role in different manners. As we all know that tortoise is a marine animal, or the animal that lives in water and also in land. So, if the water temperature within which tortoise lives is higher than 30 degrees, that is, if the temperature of the water is higher than 30 degrees Celsius, then the individual would develop into female. That is, the zygote after undergoing fertilization would develop into female. On the contrary, if the water temperature is lower than 30, then the zygote will get developed into male. Such an environmental effect also plays a very important role in other animals like crocodile. Here also environmental effect helps in the development of zygote into different individuals, but the result observed is in reverse manner. That is, in case of crocodile, if higher water temperature occurs, then the zygote would form or would get converted into male, unlike tortoise. On the contrary, if lower water temperature occurs, then the zygote would get converted into female. Thus, this is all how that the environment plays an important role in determining the sex. The fifth and the last type of chromosomal theory for determining the sex comes the hormonal theory of sex determination. This type of theory was first proposed by a scientist named Lilly. Now, as we all know that generally in higher animals or the higher organisms, the secondary sexual characters occurs under the influence of their related sex hormones. But Lilly observed a different result, in such a manner that when twins of the opposite sex that is obviously male and female undergo fertilization, then the zygote that is formed produces normal male, but the female that is formed is sterile. And this sterility of the female is occurring along with many male characters. Such sterile females are called as free martins. That is, the sterile females that are formed by undergoing hormonal therapy develops into free martins. Such a type of method or theory is also formed in other organisms or animals like cattle. Now, in cattle, as we all know, the twins occurrence is very frequent. So, during this development, both the twins are connected by a common umbilical cord. That is, these twins remains attached by a common umbilical cord. Now, here the gonads of the female develop earlier than those of the female at that particular time, but the male hormones that reach the female embryo influences the development of male sex in the female embryo. That is, although the gonads of the male develop earlier, than that of the female, but still the male hormones reaches the female embryo and thereby in this manner it helps in influencing the development of male sex in the female embryo. So, this is how the hormonal theory works in order to determine the sex.